Welcome to another episode of the Clueless Dudes Real Tool Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the Hyper Tough Digital Cordless Inflator. It's available at Walmart for about $40. It takes the same 12-volt Hyper Tough batteries as their impact drivers and drills do. Alright guys, let the reviewing begin. I'm going to start by going over what comes inside the box, followed by basic operations and features, followed by a demonstration with a bicycle tire, and then a demonstration with a car tire. Alright guys, let's get started. Let's take a look at what comes inside the box. Obviously you get the inflator itself. In addition to the inflator, you get this 1.5 amp 12 volt battery. In order to charge this battery, you take the included charger. The charger looks kind of like this. It's got a barrel attachment on one end, a regular plug on the other end. The barrel attachment goes right into the battery itself directly. It's a barrel port right there, and this just plugs right on in. And once it's plugged in to the battery and the other end goes into a wall socket, what you're going to find is right here, you're going to have a red light. That red light means that the battery's charging. When that red light turns green, you know the battery's fully charged. And at that point, you can take the charger off the battery, set the charger off to the side. You can then take your battery and slide it into the back of the inflator. Once it's installed, you're more or less ready to go. On the back side of the inflator, if we spin this around, you'll see there's 4 attachments. There's a long nozzle attachment, a short nozzle attachment, a presta attachment, and kind of hidden behind this red one is also a pin attachment for inflating things like basketballs or other kind of sports balls. Alright guys, that's all that came in it. So next thing we're going to do is go over the basic operations of this inflator. Here we go. Next, we're going to look at the basic operations and features of this inflator. But before I do, I have one quick request for you. YouTube will not pay me per view until I get over 1,000 subscribers. And I'm nowhere near 1,000 subscribers. So if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe key. Alright guys, time for the basic features and operations. Look at the basic functions and features of this inflator. Before I get started, I just want to point out that this is not attached to a tire. So anytime you see 00 being displayed, it's showing that the tire has 0 pounds of pressure because it's not attached. First off, how do you turn on the inflator? Here is the on-off switch. You press and hold the on-off switch. After about a second, you'll see it comes on. You saw it displayed 36 pounds for about a moment or two, and then went back to showing 0. 0, the solid number, is the current pressure in the tire. Since it's not attached to a tire, it is showing 0. The 36 is the number of pounds the inflator will fill a tire up to until the inflator turns itself off automatically. We'll show you how to adjust that in a moment. The next thing I want to point out is, well, how to adjust that. You'll notice that down here there's a plus and a minus key. That allows you to change the desired pressure. And for example, if I hit the plus key, you'll see it shows 36. If I hold the plus key on, you'll see it keeps going up. So let's say I wanted to inflate a tire to 36 pounds. What I would do is I'd press and hold the minus key until the flashing number shows 36. I overshot it, so I'm hitting the plus key twice, and I'm at 36 pounds. Okay, so far so good. The next thing is, let's assume you've hooked this up to a tire and you wanted to start the motor. When you pressed and held this power key for about 2 seconds, it turned the unit on. But if you do a quick press like this, and I pressed it a second time very quickly to shut it back off, as you can see, pressing that toggles the motor on and off. Okay, so far we've looked at how to turn the unit on, how to adjust the desired, that is, the pressure you want in your tire, and then how to turn the motor on and off. If this was attached to a tire and it filled it up to the point where it reached 36 pounds, the motor would shut off automatically. I manually shut it off. The next function I want to go over is the mode button. The mode button actually does 2 things. If you press and hold it, it will toggle between different units of measurement. In the United States, we typically use pounds per square inch. That's that display right there. So in the US, we generally use pounds per square inch. If I hit the mode key and hold it, so I'm pressing and holding it, you'll see that it switched to bars. Bars is just another unit of measurement to keep track of your tire pressure. It's used in some other countries. And once again, if I press and hold it, it goes to kPa, which is kilopascals. Again, just another unit of measurement for measuring pressure in things such as tires. I'm pressing and holding it a third time to put it back to PSI. Since I'm in the US and we typically use PSI for tires, I'm going to use PSIs for this demonstration. Okay, so far we've gone over the on-off switch, the plus and minus key, and pressing and holding the mode button. But what happens if you just momentarily press the mode button like this? Before I do, I'm going to show you that symbol right there. That is a car symbol. If I press and hit the mode button quickly, it switches to a motorcycle. If I hit it again, it switches to a bicycle. If I hit it again, it switches to a ball. If I hit it again, it switches to nothing. If I hit it again, it toggles back to a car. So what does that do? Why
Do they have a mode button that lets you change the type of object that you're going to be inflating between a car tire and other objects? Well, I'm going to show you that here with probably the easiest example, and that is a sports ball. So this is like a basketball or something like that. You notice that it defaulted to 8 pounds. It's now showing 0 because it's not hooked up, but since I got there, it showed 8 pounds. Let's say I go to adjust the pressure up to 60 pounds, which would be dangerous for a ball. You'll notice as I'm hitting the plus key, it stops at 16. So what the mode key does is it sets a default pressure, that is a default desired pressure, at which point the inflator will shut off, and then in addition to that, it sets a maximum and minimum range. I'm showing you now all the ranges for the different modes, so you can decide which one you want to use, if any. If you decide you don't want it to default to a specific range, then you can also be sure to hit the mode button until all the icons disappear, and then you can set it from anywhere between 4 and 140 pounds. Alright, so we're back to the tire mode or car mode, and you'll notice that if I hit the plus key once, it won't change it, but it will switch the display to the desired pressure. It's defaulting to 36, as was shown in that chart. Okay, so now we've gone over what the on-off switch does. It's 2 functions. That's to turn the unit on and off, toggle the motor. We've gone over the plus and minus key to adjust the desired pressure that the inflator will turn itself off at, and we've looked at the 2 functions of the mode key. Alright, let's go look at the last button, and that is this one right here, and that is the light function. I'm going to flip this over so that the unit is sitting on the ground as it normally would. And if I hit the light key, as you probably have guessed, a light comes on. If I hit it again, the light goes to a flashing red beacon. I'm assuming this is for safety. Don't know that it's really bright enough to save your life, but it's there. And you hit it a third time, it shuts itself off. Speaking of shutting things off, I'm going to come back here, and we're going to take a look at the power button one more time. Right now the unit is on. A quick press of the power button toggles the motor, but to shut the unit off completely, you have to press and hold the power button for about 2 seconds, and it shuts itself off. So far we've gone over the major features of this inflator. I want to point out one last thing. I'm guessing, I don't know this for certain, that they made it so you have to hit the power button for more than a second or two in order for it to come on to avoid accidentally turning it on. As you can see, several quick presses of the button does nothing. I'm assuming that's to save the battery in case it gets bumped. But if that's what they did, it didn't work out as well as they expected, because you see the light button? I'm going to press that light button very quickly, and you'll notice that the power is off. But even though the display's off, that light still came on. And I'm pointing this out for a reason, and that is, if you're going to keep the battery in this inflator, you have to be careful to store it in a manner in which that light button doesn't get bumped, because if the light gets turned on, it's going to drain the battery. Alright guys, that is all the basic functions and features of this inflator. I hope you found it useful. Now we're going to do some testing. The next demonstration is going to be a step-by-step guide on how to use this with a real live demonstration using a bicycle tire. Alright guys, let's get going.
Even if you're going to be using this inflator with a car tire, I'd recommend you watch the next demo first, the bicycle tire, because I go over step by step how it works. And then when I demonstrate with a car tire, I just show the car tire getting inflated. Alright guys, step by step, how this works. Here we go.
Alright, time for a really quick test using a bicycle tire. I'm doing a bicycle tire because it'll go much quicker and easier to demonstrate how the tool works with an actual demonstration. The setup is this. I've got that bicycle tire pumped up to 31 pounds. I've checked on my slime measure and also my toe peak measure. Both show 31 pounds. I hooked up the tire inflator and I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to hold the power button for 2 seconds. 1 and 2 and it comes on. The 36 is the desired default car pressure tire, but after 2 seconds of flashing, you'll see that it's going to 31.5 pounds. That's showing the current pressure. I'm going to switch this over to bicycle mode. And I probably don't need to do that, but just to make it fair, I'm going to switch this over to bicycle. This tire tops out at 65 pounds, so I'm going to lower the desired tire pressure down to 65 pounds. Minus, 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 minus. You can probably just hold it down too. And we are at 65 pounds. I'm going to let it switch from the desired pressure being displayed to the current pressure being displayed, 31.5 pounds. And I can hit the start button really quickly to start the motor. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, Alright, it's gone to 65 pounds, turned itself off automatically. After the unit shuts itself off, you remove the hose from the tire by lifting this red clip straight up or away from the tire, and this pops right off. And finally, when you're done using the inflator, you turn it off by pressing and holding the on-off switch. That's it, we're done, and the tire is fully inflated. I hope this step-by-step guide has helped you. Now we're going to do another demonstration, this time with a car tire, but with less explanation.
One thing a lot of people don't know about YouTube is until I get 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will not pay me for views on my videos. They keep all the ad revenue. And if they keep all the ad revenue, then I have to live in a van down by the river. And I don't want to live in a van down by the river. So please hit the subscribe key. All right, guys, time for a demonstration with a car tire. This demonstration with the car tire will be in real time, no fast forwarding, so that you can see how the pump actually works. All right, guys, with very little commentary, here it goes. If you're still here, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe key so that YouTube will share some of the ad revenue with me. All right, guys, it's hard to see in this picture because it's out of focus, but it does show within about 1 pound that the two gauges agree with each other. It should be 33 pounds, and it's roughly 33 pounds on that blurry analog gauge. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this useful. Now for the conclusions, where I talk about who this pump is for and who it may not be for. Here we go. One of my thoughts about this inflator, it is this. This is the smoothest running entry-level tire inflator I've ever seen. There is almost no vibration from it whatsoever. If you look at the videos of, let's say, the car tire being inflated or even the bicycle tire being inflated, you notice that this inflator is not bouncing all over the place. It's perfectly stable. I really like this. It's not too loud. I really like this inflator. So, what are the pros? Well, one, that it's cordless, that there's extra batteries available from Walmart should someday you decide you want a second battery for it, and there's almost no vibration from it. The cons: there's no way to power this inflator from your car battery. That is, there's no way to plug into, let's say, your cigarette lighter. So if you're planning on leaving this inflator in your trunk, let's say, for a year or two until you have a flat tire, you're going to have to remember to recharge the battery from time to time to make sure it's there when you need it. Whereas if you get one that runs off your car battery, such as through the cigarette lighter, you know it's always going to have power. If your car engine's running and your cigarette lighter's running, you know you have power for your inflator. So where does this one come in and what are the advantages of it? For me, I've got about 20 yards or so from the nearest outlet to where my car is. And it's just much easier to walk outside with this and top off all 8 of my tires. Got 2 cars, 8 tires, plus don't forget to check your spares. So technically 10 tires if you also remember to occasionally top off your spare tires. And I find this is just so much easier. The other place I also found this easier is if someone calls me and has a flat tire and they could have put on the spare and their spare is dead. And yes, I've gotten 2 of those phone calls in the last 10 years from different people. You can go out there with this and you just know it's going to work. You charge it up. I always have these 12-volt batteries charged around my house because I use the 12-volt tools all the time. So I just can grab a fresh battery, run out there and help them out. All right, guys, that's all I've got. The only thing I'm going to point out is a con. It's not listed, but I'll mention it. This has a 10-minute runtime. So if you're thinking about using this like semi-industrially, it's not the inflator for you. You need something with a longer runtime. But if you're just going to use it to occasionally top off tires or pump up the occasional flat, this thing is pretty awesome. Again, with the only restriction being it doesn't run off a car battery. You've got to have a battery that's charged for it to work. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. If you appreciated all this testing, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe key because YouTube keeps all the ad revenue for themselves until someone gets 1,000 subscribers. Once you get 1,000 subscribers, they'll share some of the money with the people putting up these videos. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time and have a great, great day. Bye-bye.